Welcome to the DRM podcast. Today we got a special player profile short segment, I guess we're going to say. It's a new series that we're starting. We're going to break down individual players and, pretty much prepare you guys for the rookie drafts. We're going to analyze them the best we can, and we're going to, let you know where we think they're going to go in super flex, one quarterback lead, and all that. And with me here is
Getting you guys
Alex.
prepared.
Yeah. Alex Martinez is here with me. Eduardo Martinez. He wouldn't go help Dak Prescott with his contract or something, or we did ship him off to that Senior Bowl, but we totally forgot that it's already over. Now he's just probably stuck in the Texas ice ball somewhere. So I don't know. So prayers up to you, Eddie. Hope you're doing good. But our first player today's
Shout out to Seti.
yeah, first player today is gonna be Kyle Pitts from Florida. I'm gonna let Alex take the floor on this one.
Whoo, I've been waiting to talk about this guy. Man, he is just a polarizing player. Tight end from the University of Florida, like you covered. He is the tight end one in the NFL draft, projected to go in the top 10 picks in the actual NFL draft. If you haven't been living under a rock, you know who this dude is. He is a monster. Essentially, he's a wide receiver playing in the tight end position. He's one of the most athletic prospects coming out of the tight end position. Really, in a long time, even with Hawkinson just coming out a few years back, he's just a surefire player in my opinion. This guy, it was a former quarterback converted into the tight end, and has been doing his thing for the last 2 seasons. Um, some of his strengths. He's just an overall elite prospect. He's one of my tier one players in the actual NFL draft. Plus, in your rookie draft. And side note, that's something you guys should be really looking into. Before your actual rookie drafts, be sure to have your tiered players ready. It'll make things a lot easier when you're going through and you're on the clock and you're between two players. Just go with the best available and with your tier. But anyway, we'll cover that in another episode. Back to Kyle Pitts, the monster from the Gators. This dude is a contested catch freak. Essentially, you throw the ball up there and get it, he will come down with it a good fair of the times with sure hands. He's just a guy that in film, I saw him coming back to the ball, and that's something that it's incredible for a young player to do. A lot of times players just stay in that position and try to go for the ball, and still, they come back, sometimes successful. It's rare when you see the player actually step in and get into the actual throwing lane and get that ball. He's just one guy that I just think he just can't miss. One of his blaring weaknesses, he's a tight end, so he has to know how to block. It's not that he doesn't know how to block. It's just he is a smaller frame as far as the weight goes. That's something that obviously could be help groom in the NFL. Um, with that being said, he's just one of those guys that I'm looking to acquire in most of all my rookie drafts. If I'm holding a mid pick in a one quarterback league, I'm trying to get him from ranges 5 to 9, maybe even sooner, depending on where he lands. And in a super flex tight end premium, Henry and I were just talking, pre-production, where I would take him in a super flex tight end premium. And me personally, just because I'm so enamored with the player, I would go and grab him with the second overall pick. Sounds crazy, but to me, this is just a can't miss prospect. The dude is just a crazy freak, man.
This is your thinking mentality.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it. I want winners.
He wants winners.
I want winners.
Kyle
league
Pitts,
winner,
man.
man.
Something you didn't touch on. He's 6'6". He's giant. and his size is like Calvin Johnson like. Now he's not Calvin Johnson, so don't get it twisted. He's not Calvin Johnson, but I mean, he can be a poor man's Calvin Johnson. He doesn't have the speed. Of course, he's a tight end, but just his soft hands, man. Like I was watching film of him, certain plays, like he can catch the ball. He doesn't body catch it, so that's one like positive thing you can take from this. Is his soft
Mhm,
catching. His catch radius, of course, is gonna be ridiculous for his size.
mhm.
It's just a mismatch for DBs. You know, you throw it up there. I mean, he's gonna be a red zone monster.
100%. And you're right. I didn't go over the measurables. I think I was just so excited to jump right in and go over some things I caught on film. This guy's 6'6", 245 pounds. He's built like a rock. He played in 8 games in his 2020 season.
Yeah,
He did sit out the bowl game, to prepare for the NFL draft. But in his 8 games, he had 43 catches for 770 yards and 12 touchdowns. It felt like every time they looked first, their first read was Kyle Pitts. After was Tony or whoever else was open. But Kyle Pitts, I feel like they just threw the ball in the air and said, go grab it. And a lot of times he was just getting it.
yeah. He did only play 8 games. Was that was that correct me? Was that because of the COVID schedule, or they just set him out?
Yeah.
He just sat out.
He he played, yeah, he pretty much played an essential full season in 2020
Gotcha.
regards. And then his final game, he opted to, instead of, going out there and risking getting hurt, he decided to opt out of the bowl game. I mean, they weren't playing. They're just, I mean, it's just competition at that point is there's, they were just out of the college football playoff. Um,
Yeah,
so
because
he decided to opt out.
I know they sat him. They sat him before the bowl game, or was it the bowl game they sat him out?
It was a bowl game. It was a bowl
Okay,
game. He opted out.
got you.
The game right before against Alabama, he went ham. He had a over 150 yards, 7 catches. Goal, and he also played in the SEC, where it's higher competition.
Yeah,
A lot of players are coming out, a lot of first round talent in that whole conference. You know, he's just going out there, and I could think he'll be a day one. See, one thing to consider, and the reason why it may be a little bit of a hot take for me to try to take him at 2 in a tight end premium is just because everyone has that saying tight ends usually take a while to develop. They have to get known to the NFL offense, have to learn how to block to stay on the field. So they don't normally produce until year 3. Well, this is a guy that I think coming in to the NFL draft, there's only ah, crazy to say, I think I'll only take one tight end over him right now, and that's George Kittle.
in the NFL right now. Wow.
Yeah. In a startup too. I mean, I'm looking at players, obviously Kelsey's already in his 30s. We don't know how long he's going to be doing it still. Kittle, 27 years old, he's had some injury bugs, but George Kittle's just a beast. Hawkinson, it's unclear how that offense is going to roll. Andrews had a really disappointing season. I
Yeah,
would have to say Kittle to me is the tight end 2-3 from the jump.
I think I'll still take Kelsey, Kittle, and then it's gonna be between him and Waller. But but good comparison. It's I don't comp him to Kelsey, so don't get me wrong. But he's
No.
pretty much a bigger what's the wingspan? His wingspan is like bigger than Kelsey, so you're looking at a big, not muscle wise, of course, not strength wise. That's not Kelsey, but as far as his
No.
frame, he's big as Kelsey.
He looks durable too, you know. Definitely something's gonna play a big factor. Obviously, I cut to it in the beginning. He's definitely going to be a tier 1 prospect in the NFL draft. A lot of people are mocking him, within the first 10 picks. Some realistic situations to keep an eye out for is the Eagles and the Panthers. If the Panthers don't get a quarterback, Kyle Pitts would fit that offense. Would be a good complementary piece for any quarterback, even Teddy Bridgewater. But I know, and I'm sad that Eddie's not here to hear this, but the place that I would love him to go is Dallas.
They're gonna have to. What's their pick? Oh, they're 10th.
Yeah,
that's gonna cut it real close. And the Eagles are
I
gonna.
would trade my.
The Eagles are gonna snipe them again.
It's possible, man. I mean, a lot of people don't like it because Dallas Goedert's there, but a lot of teams are running that two tight end approach, that offense, so they could both eat in that offense, and they need a wide receiver. He could also be the guy that stretches the field in through the seam. Just a great prospect, man.
Yeah. There you have it, folks. Kyle Pitts, a mismatch monster. Line him up anywhere you want, man. Put him as wide receiver, tight end. Just don't ask him to block, and he's gonna catch the touchdowns for you.
He play quarterback, throw it to himself.
Yeah. All right, peeps. Join us on the next player profile episode. Peace.